At a base level, data in Mongo is flexibly stored in documents in a JSON-like format. A number of documents that are related around some point or concept is called a collection. When compared to a relational database, collections are like database tables, and documents are like the rows within a given table that store the actual data. However, collections in MongoDB do not enforce a schema or a particular structure on the documents it contains in the same way that a table in a relational database enforces a schema on the rows it contains. The documents in a collection should be conceptually similar, but just because we are grouping documents together in a collection does not mean that they all have to have the same fields shared across them. MongoDB does not require strict organization of the structure of the data it stores. This kind of flexibility facilitates easier mapping of documents directly into objects or entities we can work with in our code. When we store data in our MongoDB documents, there are two main approaches we can take to how that data is stored: an embedded approach or a referenced approach. With an embedded approach, a single document can contain sub-documents which contain related data. For example, consider the employee document for J. Doe we're looking at. The username is a string as we see, but both the contact and position fields are actually sub-documents as evidenced by the JSON-like objects that are set as their respective values. The values we have here for contact and position can stand alone as their own documents, but here they are a part of or embedded in the larger document. When we take this embedded approach, it's often referred to as the denormalized approach. When working with embedded documents, each time we retrieve a document, we get back the entire set of related data in one operation, and as well, each time we write or edit a document, the task is going to be handled atomically. One of the advantages of having embedded documents is that it typically results in less read calls to the database, since the one call brings back one document with all the data and we don't need to make any other kind of follow-up calls for related data. The flip side to embedded documents, however, is that the documents can tend to become larger over time. We should think about using the embedded approach when our data has an obvious contains relationship or when there's a one-to-many relationship that we can identify. In the example, an employee document contains contact information for that employee, and we can see here that by itself, the contact information will be lacking any meaningful context. With a reference approach to storing data, documents store references to other documents as a way to relate bits of data. For example, our user document stores information for a particular employee, J. Doe in this case, and our department document stores information about